Rich friends, cheap and tacky destination wedding from start to finish. My husband and I are invited to a wedding in 2 weeks' time and it is the most unorganized and weird thing ever. We're a couple of friends attending and had all a call today to have a WTF session as we're all equally confused. So let me tell you about it. This wedding is in a week in Paris. We're all from France originally but from different parts of France and all currently living and working abroad. So the location selection was a first odd choice as Paris is renowned to be really expensive, and definitely never a first choice from provincial people like us. But whatever, we then never received official save the dates or invites, but were just invited into a WhatsApp group to give us the details. Okay. We're told the wedding will be at the town hall on the Saturday morning at 9, and then to meet them for lunch on a boat they've rented at 1 p.m. but to find ourselves what to do with ourselves between the wedding and lunch. Then told that the lunch is actually just snacks and a few drinks, buffet style, and that we're encouraged to bring drinks if we want something other than beers and soft drinks. The boat is then only rented until 8 p.m. and after that, everyone has to go home. This is very unheard of at a French wedding. A wedding without a party is not really one. But whatever, we've then planned with a few others to go to a restaurant together afterwards as the newlyweds will spend their first married evening and night together. But this doesn't end there. We've then been told, actually only my husband was told on a separate WhatsApp group, that we were also required on the Sunday for the actual wedding ceremony. All nice. But for real, the plan is to have 80 people joining them to a local park in Paris, with no reservation or booking or anything. Everyone has to bring their own lunch, sandwiches, towels and drinks for a picnic. And they also want us to come well-dressed semi-formal to take pictures together. Ruining my heels and dress at a picnic. No thank you. That doesn't end here. My husband, who's really good friend with the groom, has then been asked this week, 2 weeks away from the wedding, to be the flower boy. Cringe. We're all in our mid-30s and to also prep a speech with the other boys, and to come early to the ceremony to help set up. At this stage I'm just absolutely flabbergasted. If it were a budget issue, I would 100% understand. However, the bride and groom are two of the most well-off people I know. They own multiple houses and never had any financial issues. So to me, this feels so incredibly tacky, to ask people to fly over and spend a whole weekend with them in one of the most expensive cities in Europe, to not feed them or even provide any sort of entertainment. I'm also really considering the gift as they're going back home right after they've asked only cash gift to not have to bother with physical gifts. And I'm honestly thinking of just giving them the bare minimum, like 50 from the both of us, husband and I, as traditionally the gift is supposed to pay for your dinner. But here there's none. My husband and his friends group have tried to talk to him and he just feels that we don't get their vision, and that they just want to do something unique. But at what cost? Regretting having accepted this invite now. But we'll update to let you know how it's actually gone once done and over. Update. This is the day before. We have received this afternoon the following news still on the WhatsApp, by the way, which is a community channel, not a group, so we can't even reply. They asked in the group if anyone present for the Sunday picnic could bring Bluetooth speakers with them. They changed 3 times the exact location of the picnic within the park. But great, we're now close to the public toilets. They gave 3 people's numbers in the group to contact if we had any questions, issues during the day. One of them was not even invited in the group and found out because we jokingly texted him that hopefully he has more answers than the bride and groom. He was also never asked to do this and had no more clue than any of us what the H is going on. His only thing is that he's from Paris, so maybe the bride and groom thought he could help with directions. We were told for tomorrow to be dressed semi-formal for the civil wedding, fair enough, but to also bring either a change of clothes or accessories to match the theme of the afternoon, dare to be fun. We were originally told there would be a shuttle of some kind between the town hall and the boat is in complete opposite sides of Paris. We then were told to find our own way there by, and I quote, scooter, bike, or Uber. They sent a video of the boat as a teaser. I won't share it to still keep some kind of privacy. And honestly, it's just an old barge, houseboat that looks absolutely not cool in any way, shape or form. They actually confirmed they'll be bringing some snacks on Sunday for the first to arrive, and so the others were welcome to bring their own food and drinks, and share if they wish. Update. Hi everyone and welcome back to the update you were all waiting for. This wedding was just as expected, cheap and tacky. Thank God we met there with a few friends we hadn't seen in a long time, so we were still able to spend a nice weekend by all staying together. But if we had been there on our own, we would definitely had not stayed over this long. Now onto the update. See below recap of the 2 days. Before getting into the details of the days, just want to mention that all the different activities were hosted in complete different locations within the city Paris. For those who don't know Paris, it's a big city and always with a lot of traffic, so going from one side to another can take over an hour. All had to be done in taxi, Uber. We probably spent over €150 just in transports. Day 1, we were to join them to the town hall at 10 a.m. for start of the wedding at 10:30. Arrived there at 9:45, no one there, fine. Grabbed a coffee next door. 10:15, still no sign of the bride and groom. 10:30, they arrive, start to mingle, say hi to everyone, but don't seem to be rushed in anyway. We then learn the wedding isn't starting until 11:30, but they wanted to make sure everyone was there on time. 11:25, we're invited to enter the town hall, civil wedding starts. 11:45, we're done and outside. We do a few group pictures in front of the town hall, and then are told we'll be walking a bit further away to go take pictures in a park nearby. We arrive to the park. First problem, it had been pissing rain for the past 3 days, rendering the whole park muddy as heck. All the ladies in heels and stilettos were struggling to stay upright. They then take pictures with all the groups, friends and family. This lasts an hour, in the sun with no shade. No drinks, not even water is provided. Everyone's sweating away. 1 p.m. We're told that we can now all go to the official wedding location, to the boat. Originally, we were all told there would be a shuttle organized, but this never happened. All tried to find taxis, Ubers to get there, as no public transport would have been an easy option, having to take 3 different buses. The taxi takes us 45 minutes to get to the boat. 60 quids. Great. 1:45 p.m. we arrive to the boat, somehow before the bride and groom. The boat is actually a houseboat on the river, and someone's actual home that they just rent out for the day from time to time. There's no decoration or anything and a bunch of personal items all around, as this is someone's home whom we'll call the captain for the rest of that story. As the bride and groom are not there yet, some of the bride's family start to blow and attach balloons as well as some garlands. There are also no tables or chairs, just one couch in the living room. The captain is also staying there apparently, so we have that random 50-year-old dude hanging around. 2 p.m. The couple arrives on the boat, but things are still being set up, so everyone is waiting around, chatting to each other. Everyone is super thirsty and cannot wait to get a drink. 2:15 p.m. The groom says everyone come get a drink, and we see that the living room has now a bar set up with 3 bottles of champagne, 5 of Prosecco, 1 bottle of white wine, 1 of red, 16 cans of beers. There was also 1 bottle of rum, a few bottles of Coke Zero, sparkling water, and fruit juice. To recap, we were 35 people, and this was meant to last us until 9 p.m. I can confirm that no one got drunk, and we ran out of drinks quite quickly in the afternoon. As for the food, they had pulled up a table and served some amuse-bouche, finger food, bites. These were really tasty and quite fancy, but definitely not enough for everyone to feel full. The afternoon kept going, still no chairs or tables. The older people, like parents of bride, groom, were definitely getting tired. Then throughout the afternoon they had organized a couple of games, although they did not organize them as they asked a friend of ours to do so. One of them was a quiz on the bride and groom, one was a sort of enigma, escape game, which was really the highlight of the day, but again organized and led by a friend of ours, and then they had a friend of them playing guitar, singing for an hour. All the while the captain was hanging around with everyone. Then came the time of the speeches from the family. This lasted for an hour, again, all standing up looking at everyone talking. At 6 p.m., they served sheet cakes. Then nothing really happened until 8 to 8:30 p.m. As we were told we were going to be kicked out by 9 p.m., we had planned with our group of friends to leave by 8:30 so that we could still have time to go to a restaurant. However, around 8 p.m., the groom said that he was trying to negotiate with the captain to allow us to stay on longer. They managed to do so until 11:30 p.m. However, no food at all was served as dinner. They had said we may order pizzas, but never happened. We got home at 12 p.m. and had to Uber Eat as we were starving. Also, as the captain hadn't planned to originally have us until then, some of his own friends showed up at around 10 p.m. and were just hanging around with us. Weird. Also, between 9:30 to 11:30 p.m., the groom decided to play a mixed set of techno. He mixed himself live, but no one had nothing to drink and we were all exhausted from standing up all day. It was just awkward. Also, random add-on here, but they had asked people to bring a change of clothes for the day, as in semi-formal for the wedding, and then something fun and daring for the boat party. Only one couple did so, and both dressed up in Japanese kimono. The bride and all her family are Chinese. Day 2. The 2 days before the wedding were filled with WhatsApp messages in different groups regarding loads of last-minute changes and add-ons. For example, the day before, the groom asked in one of the groups if people could bring Bluetooth speakers for the ceremony. Or they sent a picture of themselves in front of 2 trees and said this is where we'll meet up. All guests, 80 people including kids and dogs, were asked to show up at 12 and that the ceremony would start at 1 p.m. So husband and I showed up at about 12:10 p.m. at the mentioned location, and no sign of the couple of guests. Texted friends to learn that some had shown up at 11:30 to see no one and that the park was getting busy, so they decided to take the lead and secure an area. They still had to ask people to leave as there was not one space under tree shade that was free really. For those who don't remember, we were also asked to bring our own food and drinks and were encouraged to share as well. It was also meant to be pissing rain with no plan B, but lucky for them, they had a nice enough weather all weekend long. Not deserved though. Couple arrived at 12:30. In the meantime, some guests helped putting up some decorations on the tree. The bride showed up in a summer dress, the groom in shorts, runners and Hawaiian shirt. They then start prepping the ceremony area with some balloons, while they tell people to start eating. There are no chairs, none. People are meant to sit on the ground to eat and stand during the ceremony. Friends, husband and I sat together and shared our food and drinks while the prep kept going in the background. Then we're given the go-ahead to come stand in a semicircle around the couple seating in chairs, while the rest of us stands. My husband was still asked to be the flower girl despite his complaints, and they added a flower crown on his head. He was not happy and pretty much was eye-rolling the whole time. Too bad for their nice pictures. One of our friends was the officiant and did a great job with what little info and guidance he was given. But then, speeches started again. When organizing the ceremony, the officiant had reached out to friends and family of both sides to ask if they wanted to make a speech. Very little people said they would, so he had asked my husband if he could speak as a favor. Turns out that 5 minutes before the ceremony, he is told that 8 more people will be speaking after all. This lasted an hour and a half. And honestly, after the speeches from the day before, there is only so much more that can be said about the couple. We get it. She's smart, he's fun. She loves yoga, he loves tech. And if I hear one more joke with I asked ChatGPT to write my speech, no I'm joking, haha, I'll unalive someone. But also, standing an hour and a half to listen to boring speeches, while bugs were dropping from the trees on us was just a nightmare. Kids were getting super frustrated as well, poor things. The officiant even made a joke about how he could see some people getting weak in the knees and so could sit down off. But oh no, the chairs haven't arrived yet. The face of the couple was absolutely priceless. Loved having them getting a bit of shade. Then they did the exchange of the rings, and the groom had organized a little prank on his wife, which he thought would be fun. He had a friend of his bring the rings in a little pouch, attached to a few helium-filled balloons. They then pretended to let go of the balloons and they obviously flew away with the wind with the supposed rings. The bride and most people were kind of horrified, and he let that joke go for a good 5 minutes, leaving the bride panicking about their rings and him saying it's just material things and accidents happen. Then another friend came up and said that was a joke, haha. Here are the rings. Ceremony ended, and we all went back to our blankets to finish our sandwiches, and then they finally came around with the food they had promised. We each got 1 cherry, 1 apricot and 1 piece of the sheet cake left over from the day before. Cool. We then had a train to catch so didn't stay much longer, but they apparently did another game in the afternoon, and a group pic with a drone, and that was it. From speaking to the family of both bride and groom over the 2 days, we know that they were all pretty disappointed with the weekend as well. So that was it. Definitely won't be participating to their wedding fun there or sending a gift. Still don't understand what is wrong with them, and our friend group and us have all decided to take a break from the couple for at least a few months as we're so pissed off by the lack of respect from this joke of a wedding.